The fifth state in the Union, but the first state in our hearts. The state of Connecticut has a long and storied history of success on and off the athletic fields, and 22 Threads is your go to apparel brand for all things CT. Visit the 22 Threads website at www.22threads.com to shop their stores and blue collar football apparel collections now. 10% of each item sold is donated to a local Connecticut nonprofit organization. Look good, do good, because you love CT. Okay, we were off for a week, so Jackson, hopefully you're nice and refreshed, ready to come back on the podcast. Gave you a week off from this taxing work here, so just tell me how. We'll get into the bye week in a minute, but the last time we spoke, you guys are coming off a really close loss to Utah State. Felt like the team was starting to turn the page a little bit, and then you guys went down to Houston and did what UConn does in Houston, and that was beat Rice. And win down there. So tell me, how did it feel to get that win finally on the road at Rice?
Yeah, it definitely felt good. Obviously, we expected it much earlier in the season, but just coming off that Utah State one, knowing that we kind of had to have the next one, like going down there and finally handling business and playing up to a standard that we kind of accept and looking to get better, obviously. But it was just good to come away with the dub, and there were some good things to learn from, and obviously other things to learn from as well. But it was coming away with the win is the number one priority.
I know you guys got down early a bit in that game. How did you guys go from staying in the fight in that game? It's easy when it's been a tough season up to that point to, I don't want to say throw in the towel, but at that point you're down a bit, you're on the road. How do you guys stay motivated to pull that comeback back and win relatively easily?
Yeah, it was definitely important for us just to for us to have that confidence and know who we are as a team and that like we're kind of capable of doing those things in games and knowing things might not go our way in games and being able to come back and fight back from that, which is what we did. And the defense really helped make plays to set up the offense and put points on the board, which was really helpful turning that around. So I think it was just good all around for the team to see, we are capable of that and going forward, it's going to be something that we can really lean on in the future.
As you go through that game, and ultimately the defense comes up with some nice stops there to stop Rice and hold on for the win. How do you feel to be in a game like that where offense performed well, you guys have performed well, through that game and ultimately kind of getting to come up with a few of those final stops to really end that game?
Yeah, I think it was exciting and just, finally seeing us kind of put it together a little bit was good for us. And it was awesome to see the offense do what they were doing. They were playing really good. Obviously they had that big throw to Cam and that type of stuff. So it was good to see. And then just as a whole, the defense kind of made plays when we have to, which is huge. Offensively, defensively, special teams, making the play when you have to make the play is kind of how you come out with wins. And that's what we did in that game.
I think one of the biggest differences from the start of the season to where you guys are now, especially defensively, from that perspective, is you guys are turning other teams over. What do you think's been the key to being able to force these turnovers in these past couple games?
I think just flying to the ball effort. A lot of turnovers just come with, getting more hats to the ball, like forcing fumbles. When someone, gets a hand on the ball carrier, the next person comes in and gets after the ball. And, if it gets tipped, run into the ball and maybe get a pick or something like that, overthrows. So just really effort, a lot of turnovers come from effort and then, stressing it more in practice and kind of stressing it. Everyone got to take it upon themselves to kind of want to get more turnovers because we know how much it helps us as a team.
I know you mentioned how great it was to see Cam get that big play on offense. I saw the stat. I think it's the first time in a few years now that the offense for UConn has put up 30 plus points in back-to-back games. What are you seeing out of your offense here in terms of getting more comfortable? It definitely seems like Taekwon's starting to kind of feel within himself a little bit more in being more confident out there now that he's been out there for what 4 or 5 games now as the starter.
Yeah, I think they're definitely a lot more confident. You can see it every day, the way they go about their meetings and on the field when we go against them in practice. I think they're just a lot more confident. And, it's good to see like for them that like just sometimes it just takes that one game where they put up 30 points. Now they feel like, yeah, we can definitely do this every game. And, you're going to see it from them a lot going forward. And we have all the confidence in the world in defense. They know we got their back and they got our back. So, that's kind of winning football.
So you head into USF game this weekend. It seems like it's a really interesting USF team. It's a USF team that held Alabama to 17 points, and then you see the past couple games they've given up 56. So not necessarily sure what you're getting on a game-to-game basis. What have you been seeing as you've been watching film from this USF team?
Yeah, I think they have really good athletes, as do a lot of USF teams, in the past. They're good at just getting their guys the ball in space. So that's kind of what they want to do. They're going to spread us out. They're going to go fast and get their guys the ball in space. Their quarterback's really talented, especially with his legs. He's tall, he's long, so he can kind of stride it out if you let him do it. And obviously we struggle with that in the past sometimes. So that's something that we've definitely been working on. But also just, our open field tackling and knowing that they're going to throw the ball in space and we got to just make the plays and get stops for our offense so they can do what they do.
When you look at a mobile quarterback, you mentioned some struggles, early in the season against some of those more mobile quarterbacks. What do you think you guys have put in place to, be able to prevent as big of plays and as big of runs out of the quarterbacks that you saw earlier in the year?
Yeah, I think just from, a scrambling perspective, just knowing your rush lanes, knowing, how you got to rush the passer when it's a scrambling guy, knowing that you got to work maybe back to the inside if he gets loose, and knowing that you got to keep contained because if he gets out, he kind of get loose. And then just everyone swarming to the ball. We know, with a running quarterback, he's going to get some runs. They're going to design some runs for him against our defense, and just everyone swarming to the ball and getting hits on him because and no quarterbacks like getting hit, whether they're a runner or not. So, if you can get a few hats on the ball, like it'll kind of limit him and make him not want to run it as much.
I'm going to take a quick break from the interview to tell you about my friends at Martin Rosol's Meats. This fourth generation Connecticut family business produces kielbasa, hot dogs, sausages, and deli meats using Martin Rosol's very own original recipes. Their products can be found in grocery stores, delis, restaurants, and hot dog stands throughout the state. And if you're looking for your fill right away, check out their retail store in New Britain. For more information, visit martinroselsinc.com and go support a Yukon fan-owned business. And now, back to the interview. So you're coming off this game, coming off a bye week. Take me through what was the bye week like from your perspective and kind of getting to take a little bit of a break from game action.
Yeah, it was nice. Early in the week, we went over obviously the Rice game, and then we had two practices where we kind of worked on stuff that we had to work on from earlier in the season, and also previewed some of USF and got into that. So we got a jump start on them, and then kind of just spent time during the bye week relaxing, focusing on USF for sure, but definitely getting away from football as well to kind of reset your mind and getting ready for this last stretch that we have to make in order for us to kind of do what we want to do this season. It's going to be a long stretch, these last 6 games, and so kind of just resetting your mind and getting that ready.
What do you like to do to kind of take your mind off football during that time that you have away from it?
Just relaxing, watching TV. Maybe my girlfriend came up, we went apple picking and kind of just did some stuff away from football, went to the mall, went shopping. So anything that doesn't have to do with football, really.
It was a couple weeks ago. The Dolphins are getting killed by the Bills. My wife wanted to go apple picking. I gave in at halftime. I'm like, we'll get it out there. Yeah, they weren't coming back. So
Yeah.
I know what the football bye weeks of apple picking are like. I know you guys have been fighting hard to get that first win. Is it hard then to get that win and then have the week off? I know you guys all probably want it from a rest and kind of getting healthy a little bit from that perspective, but you finally start to pick up some more momentum. Was it hard to not be able to go out and play last Saturday?
Yeah, it's definitely tough because you feel like you finally, starting with that Utah State game, we were gaining momentum, and then we finally got the win. And then obviously we had to have the break. But that's something that we've been stressing and understanding, that we can't come out flat for this next game, even though we had the break and we got a win last week. We're gonna have to take steps up in order to win this game, and they're obviously coming off two like pretty big losses, so they're not going to want to lose another one at all either. So it's going to be a tough game, and we know that, and we got to come out ready to go from the jump.
As always, I got to wrap with a little Giants talk. They were so close the other night. How'd you feel about that one?
Yeah, I mean, I watched it a little bit. It was tough. I think, I mean, I'm proud of their fight, but they're definitely still trying to figure it out. But hopefully they can turn it around. Maybe they'll make some trades, and Daniel Jones will come back, and we'll kind of do our thing. Saquon's back now, so he'll get a little more healthy, and hopefully they get it rolling a little bit.
Awesome. Well, Jackson, as always, really appreciate you taking some time to come on. Enjoy the homecoming game this weekend to get
Yeah,
against USF. Get the crowd out there for homecoming, and then we'll be talking heading into BC, which I know is a game a lot of fans have circled on the calendar. So got some
Yeah.
fun stuff coming up the last half of the season here, and look forward to having you back.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it.